I'm Arvind Bhuta. I work for the USDA Forest Service, which we're right across from. Here in Washington, D.C., I'm a natural resources specialist with state, private, and tribal forestry. I'm a natural resources specialist, and what I manage is a program called the Forest Mapping and Accomplishment Portal. What we do is we help 3 different programs in state, private, and tribal. We help Forest Stewardship Program, we help the Landscape Scale Restoration Program, and Forest Health, reporting their accomplishments up to leadership in Forest Service, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the executive branch. After finishing my doctorate, I did a postdoc at Clemson University in forestry, and then I was looking at a variety of different jobs from academia to federal government to nonprofit. And honestly, I just kept on applying to a variety of different jobs until I got the interview that landed me with a dream agency that I never thought I'd be working with, the Forest Service. And a lot of my background is in biogeography and also in GIS remote sensing. So luckily, my skills fit this agency's need. And with that being said, I was able to work as a biometrician, working on LiDAR remote sensing data, and then doing some inventory data with forest in the Pacific Northwest, Portland, Oregon. And then I was able to wear another hat as an ecologist. So I was able to work in the National Forest in Alabama as an ecologist. And there I managed the ecology program, non-native invasive species, hydrology, and soils. And so there I was able to use a lot of GIS and remote sensing applications there as well in terms of managing those programs and other things. And then I moved over here to DC to work in this current position that I just mentioned earlier. When I was a biology major, I found out about GIS. This was in the late 90s, and I was very intrigued about what GIS had to offer because obviously biology or ecology wasn't really doing any of those things. So I enrolled in a geography course. Like I said, I was instantly hooked to what geography had to offer as a discipline, and not really knowing that that was a major that I could pursue as a career opportunity. So once I started taking some more courses, I was really hooked, and I was like, wow, I didn't know I could learn more about the human geography side of things. I was more in tune with the physical and the bio part of that world, but bringing it all together really helped me to have a different perspective on how I view the world. It was very, very instrumental in helping me to be successful in my career so far. I've got a background in zoology, graduated with a zoology degree, and then I ended up wanting to go to graduate school. I'm honest here, my GPA wasn't the best, and I realized at graduate school I had a passion for wanting to delve deeper into science and understand more of the natural world. And so I kind of just accidentally fell into GIS, and then from GIS that was a Pandora's box to learning more about the discipline of geography. And from there I got a bachelor's in geography and another bachelor's in environmental science. And then from there, I pursued my graduate degree in geography. I transferred from the University of Alabama to Virginia Tech, and I got my master's there and working with an advisor who was awesome. She's a biogeography background. And then she encouraged me to study use of tree rings. And so I studied dendrochronology for my master's and for my doctorate work, and then graduated in 2011 from Virginia Tech with my doctorate. My education in geography prepared me for this position. And as I had mentioned earlier, thinking holistically and thinking about the human, the physical side of how we approach things, especially in this position. We get to work with a variety of different state partners, nonprofits, and academic institutions in the work that we do. And so we have to think about the people and the spaces that they occupy and trying to keep the programs that I work with, forest as forest, and what we do is we work in between the greens. So we don't work in the national forest systems per se, we work with outside of those national forest boundaries. And so thinking about space and place and how different states operate in maintaining those forests, it's very important from a geographical perspective because it helps bring context. And without it, I probably wouldn't have been able to do a lot of the work that I do. In terms of gaining additional experience that I did not gain from my education, that just comes from what I think I've heard people here in this agency call on-the-job training. And there's a lot of things. First of all, we're working in a federal agency. As some people like to think, there's usually a lot of different steps that are involved or bureaucracy that's involved. And so just trying to understand the nuances of how you need to operate and fulfilling your job duties from day to day, you pick that up on the job from federal guidelines, policy, and then the law. You'll pick that up in the workplace, and there's always opportunities to get training, either online or in person. you're interested in working in the federal government, there are a lot of opportunities from internship to fellowships. We have, for example, in our agency, the Resource Assistant Program, which allows you to come in as an intern, and then you can get a direct hiring authority, which allows you to come into this agency non-competitively. Also, a lot of opportunity to network with people who are in federal agencies who have a geography background. So when people, when the annual meeting happens, it's a great opportunity to network with people who work in the federal government and ask those kind of questions like, what can I do or what do I need to do in terms of coursework or internships or other types of jobs to get my foot in the door to work in the federal government.